Students, before now we proceed with the next type of question, we are going to see a concept called as shift of origin. So let's understand what is shift of origin. We have learned this concept in your lower standards in mathematics. Now, you remember, if I want to say a coordinate of a point, what I actually mean by this concept. When I say a coordinate, it is basically the perpendicular distance of any point from the respective axis, isn't it? The distance from the y-axis will be called as the x-coordinate, and the distance from the x-axis will be called as the y-coordinate. So students, if I shift the origin, means basically I do what? I will shift the origin to such a point such that I will keep the x-axis and the y-axis parallel to the original axis. Then what will happen to the coordinates of a particular point? The coordinates will definitely change. Let's understand this with the help of a diagram, students. So if I have x-axis and y-axis, so I take here the x-axis and the y-axis, and point O is the origin whose coordinates are 0, 0. Now, I'm using here small letters for the old coordinate system. So, small x and small y, this is the original, or I can say the old coordinate system. Now, let us take a point P whose coordinates can be taken as, say, small x and small y. So here I am taking small x and small y as the original or the old coordinates of a point. So let us say there is a point P. I take a point P. This point P has coordinates x, y. So this x, y are the original, or I can say the old coordinates of point P. Now when I say coordinate, what do I actually mean by this? Coordinate simply means the perpendicular distance of a point from the respective axis. So if I take the horizontal distance, that means the distance of the point P from the y-axis. Distance of the point P from the y-axis. So this is the horizontal distance, isn't it? So I'll call this as the distance of P from y-axis. So the distance of the point P from the y-axis, or it is also called as the horizontal distance. The horizontal distance. This is going to be the x-coordinate of the point P. So this is x-coordinate. This is the x-coordinate. So I'm going to call this as, say, PM. This is a perpendicular PM. So length of PM is x. Getting or not, the length of PM is going to be x. This is the x-coordinate. Likewise, I'm going to draw the perpendicular from point P on the x-axis. So this is the perpendicular which is drawn from point P on the x-axis, isn't it? So let us call this as Pn. So who is Pn? So Pn is the vertical distance, isn't it? Or I can say distance of point P from x-axis, or I can say the vertical distance, or students, it becomes the y coordinate of the point. Getting or not? So this is the y coordinate, isn't it? So I can say that the length of Pn is going to be y. So here I have shown the horizontal and the vertical distance of the point P with respect to the y and the x-axis. The distance from the y-axis will be called as the x-coordinate, and the distance from the x-axis will be called as the y-coordinate. Now students, our origin is at 0, 0, isn't it? So this is the origin. Now what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to shift this origin to some other point. You can take any point. So for simplicity purpose, I'm going to take the shifted origin in the first quadrant. Now it does not mean that always the origin will be shifted to the first quadrant. It can be shifted to any quadrant quadrant, but the formula that we are going to derive will remain same. So let us shift the origin to a new point. So this will be called as a new origin. Now this particular shifted origin will have some coordinates, isn't it? So let's h comma k are the coordinates of the new origin. So h comma k, when I say, these are the old coordinates of the new origin. So when I say old coordinates, it is basically the distance of the origin from the y and the x axis, the old ones. So observe carefully. I'm going to keep the x and the y axis parallel. So I take the x axis here. So this is the x axis. I'm going to denote it by capital X now. So the capital letters are going to denote the new coordinate system. Getting on? So that's capital X. And students, I'm going to take here the y axis. So here the x axis and the y axis, both of them are kept parallel. So this is very important, students. We want to keep the new coordinate system parallel to the original coordinate system. So I'm going to write here capital X and capital Y. This is the new coordinate system. This is the new coordinate system. Now students, what has happened? Observe carefully. There is an origin now. So I'm going to call this point as the origin. This is O dash. I'm going to call it as O dash. This is the shifted origin. And this will have what coordinates? It is having h comma k. Now understand, h comma k are the old coordinates of the new origin. So this is the new origin. Getting or not? And these coordinates h comma k, these are the old coordinates of the new origin. So if they are the old coordinates, they must be measured from the original x and the y axis. That means if I ask you the horizontal distance of the origin, the horizontal distance, that means the distance of the origin from the y axis. So this horizontal distance is going to be h, whereas the vertical distance is going to be k. So h and k are actually the horizontal and the vertical distance of the new origin. Now students, this new origin will have new coordinates as 0, 0 itself. The new coordinates of the origin are definitely going to be 0, 0. The old coordinates are h, k. That means the distance of the origin from the original y and the x axis is taken as h and k. Now students, what has happened to point P? Look at point P. Point P has not changed its position, but with respect to the new x and the y axis, with respect to the new x and the y axis, the distances have changed, isn't it? I'm going to call this point here where this PM is intersecting the new y axis as, say, M dash. So length of PM dash is definitely different from the length of PM. Likewise, students, I'm going to call this point here, the point of intersection of the new x-axis with PN as, say, N dash. So can you observe that PM dash and PN dash are nothing but what? They are the horizontal and the vertical distance of the point P from the capital Y and the capital X axis. That means the new coordinate system, isn't it? So I'm going to write here PM dash is the horizontal distance. That means it is the new x coordinate of point P, isn't it? It is the new x coordinate of the point P. So let us say the length of PM dash is taken as, say, capital X. I will take the length of PM dash as capital X. Tell me what is PN dash. Students, PN dash is the vertical distance of the same point P, isn't it? So this is the vertical distance of the point P. So therefore it is going to be the new y coordinate of point P, isn't it? So let us take this length as PN dash. So I'm going to take this PN dash as capital Y. So students, I'm going to write this information over here. So length of PM dash is taken as capital X and length of PN dash is taken as capital Y. That means the same point P will have the new coordinates as capital X and capital Y. Can you understand the horizontal and the vertical distance of a point from the respective coordinate axis? The Y axis and the X axis are the coordinates of the point. So point P now has coordinates X, Y. These are the new coordinates of point P. These are the new coordinates of point P. Now students, observe the diagram very carefully, because now we are going to develop the formula. We are going to develop the relation between the old and the new coordinates. The point P is the same point, isn't it? I have simply found its old and the new coordinates, but it is one and the same point. So there must be some relation between the old and the new coordinates of the point P with respect to the shifted origin, whose coordinates are h, k. So now I can say from the diagram, can you observe that length of PM, it is equal to PM dash plus MM dash, isn't it? Length of PM is equal to PM dash plus MM dash. So students, what is PM? The length of PM is small x. So I write here small x. What is length of PM dash? It is capital X. And plus MM dash is similar to this value h, isn't it? So MM dash is nothing but h. So I can write here h. So this is the relation between the old and the new coordinates. So from here, can I say capital X becomes equal to x minus h? Isn't it? Capital X is going to become equal to small x minus h. Similarly, again from the diagram, can you say that Pn, students, Pn is going to be Pn dash plus Nn dash, isn't it? Now what is the length of Pn? You can very easily understand that the length of Pn is small y. So I write here small y is equal to Pn dash, which is capital Y, plus k, isn't it? So this is the relation between the old and the new coordinates, the y coordinates of the point. From here, I can also say this is equal to y is equal to y minus k. Let's try this concept. Now, you know that the old coordinates of the origin, the shifted origin, is h, k. These are the old coordinates. Can you understand that? What are the new coordinates? It is 0, 0. It has to be 0, 0 because it is the origin. So its new coordinates are definitely 0, 0, but the old coordinates are h, k. So if I want to find the new coordinates of the new origin, I will go to this formula. New coordinates, capital X and capital Y. Small x and small y are the old coordinates, which is h and k. So when you put here h minus h, you get 0. You put k minus k, again you get 0. That means the new coordinates of the origin, the shifted origin, is coming what? It is coming 0, 0. So this is the formula that you should be always using to change the coordinates from old to new or new to old. Small x is equal to capital X plus h, small y is equal to capital Y plus k. Small x and small y denote the old coordinates of a point, the original coordinates of a point, and capital X and capital Y, they denote what? They are the new coordinates of the point. And students, h and k are the coordinates of the shifted origin, and remember this h and k are the old coordinates of the shifted origin. So students, this concept is called as shift of origin. Shift of origin. Now this is a very important concept that you need to remember, because now we are going to take some questions which are based on this particular concept. So students, this was all about the concept of shift of origin. Now we are in a position to start with the questions.